Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's recap we will be recapping the Space Jam. The movie begins on a teeny-weeny planet called Moron Mountain. The owners of the unpleasant amusement park on that planet realized that his rides weren't as amusing to the customers anymore. So he devised a sinister plan. He ordered his goons to go down to Earth and kidnap the Looney Tunes characters and bring him back, and so they could be used for attracting all the kids. The alien goons made their grand entrance on our big blue planet Earth and started their exploration. On the hunt for those famous cartoon characters, they searched high and low, left and right, but couldn't find a single one of them. Frustrated, they dive underground in their spaceship and started looking around. They eventually stumbled upon the secret entrance to the Warner Brother cartoon world. As soon as they set foot in the looniest land of all, these aliens needed to find someone ASAP, so they landed their ship, squashing poor Elmer Fudd in the process. Once they got out, this little green dude started asking Bugs if he knew where Bugs Bunny was. We all know how shifty Bugs is. He pretended he had no clue. But these aliens were not dummies. They quickly figured out that their target was right in front of him and zapped Bugs Bunny with their laser guns. This forced him to round up all the Looney Tunes characters. Meanwhile, back at Michael Jordan's crib, he was just chilling with his kids watching some Roadrunner cartoon, but this episode was interrupted by Porky Pig calling for an emergency meeting. So in this toon world, Bugs Bunny was all tied up informing the others about the aliens who once top and slayed them all. But given Bug Bunny's history, the other characters thought it was some kind of prank and didn't take it seriously. Well, that is until Yosemite Sam tried to be a hero and got zapped into smithereens by the aliens' weapons. That's when they all surrendered, but typical Bugs Bunny always got a trick up his furry sleeve. He told those aliens they could not just snatch the Looney Tunes without a fair challenge for their freedom, and he proposed a challenge in the form of a basketball game. These aliens had no clue how the game works, so they started crashing real basketball games and took over the players' bodies, stealing their skills and stuffing them into this weird alien ball. They left the poor athletes completely useless on the court. These aliens, with their sneaky tactics, managed to snatch the skills of not one, but 5 professional players. They touched that basketball and bam, each alien absorbed a professional player's talent and transformed into giant aliens with the bodies of real superstar athletes. They were so strong that just throwing a ball on the ground made the earth crack. Now when the Looney Tunes saw the crazy level of skills these invaders had, they knew they needed backup. So they devised a plan and headed to the golf course where Michael Jordan was playing with his buddies that day. He reached for a ball in the hole and they pulled in right through a hole in the course. Back in the Looney world, Bugs Bunny informed Michael of their situation and what those aliens have done. He begs Michael to help him out in the big match so they can stay free and not become alien slaves. To convince Michael, the Looney Tunes take him to the court, which has fallen apart. It was quickly renovated in a jiffy with a little help from Taz himself. Just as they finished, guess who shows up? If you guess alien team, you guessed right. They challenged Michael to prove his skills, but when he says no, they turn him into a ball and start bouncing him around like crazy. An insulted Michael realizes he can't back down as the problem is literally out of this world. So he agrees to help and starts training the Looney Tunes, especially Lola, who's already pretty good at basketball. Michael knows he's got a tough battle ahead, so he asks Daffy and Bugs to swing by his place and grab his fancy basketball gears. They almost became chew toy for Michael's dog. Eventually they sneak into the house with Bugs leading the way and they head straight for the trophy room. But guess who they bump into again? That gigantic doggy who is locked on Daffy. But luckily Michael's kids saved the day just in the nick of time. After grabbing the gear, Bugs and Daffy start making their way back home. But unfortunately, they were spotted by Stan, Michael's trusty assistant. It turns out after Michael went missing that day, Stan started digging like crazy to find his friend, but had no luck until now. Just as he was about to give up, he catches sight of Bugs and Daffy heading into the hole, so he decides to follow and see if he can find Michael too. After a whole lot of training, the big day has finally arrived. The day of the epic basketball game. Warner characters from all over have gathered to witness this legendary match. The excitement is through the roof. As the game kicks off, Michael gets the jump ball advantage and passes the ball to Bugs Bunny. But Bugs is hit and one of those crooked invaders snatches the ball away from him and pulls off an amazing tomahawk dunk. In the next play, Michael is being swarmed by the enemy team, so he passes the ball to Daffy Duck, but poor Daffy realizes the entire enemy squad is after him, so he quickly tosses the ball to Granny, who's just chilling on the bench. She still gets squished by the enemy squad. As the game goes on, those aliens start playing dirtier than ever. They turn Foghorn Leghorn into a roasted chicken. But the Toon Squad manages to score a few points thanks to Lola and Michael. However, at the end of the first half, they were behind on the scoreboard. If you are enjoying this recap, remember to subscribe to get notified whenever there is a new upload. In the visitors' locker room, Stan, Michael's friend, hides in the closet to eavesdrop on the aliens' conversation. He finds out about their dirty deeds against the NBA players, but unfortunately, they caught him red-handed. They give him a good beating and he later arrives at the Toons' locker room. Stan tells them what he had learned about those aliens and Michael tries to boost the team's spirits. While Bugs pulls a funny trick, he fills a bottle with water and pretends it's a super secret formula. He hands it out to all the characters, making them feel supercharged. It's all in their heads, but hypes them up enough. As soon as the second half starts, the Toons are filled with confidence. They turn the tables and start dominating the game. After a crazy comeback, they come close to tying the score, making the aliens call a timeout. During the break, Michael goes to the alien park owner and makes a bold bet. He puts his own life on the line, saying if his team wins, the NBA player's talent will be returned, but if the aliens win, he'll become their enslaved prisoner forever. With the deal sealed, the aliens go all in, playing even dirtier than before. It was like a Looney Tunes junkyard. They're desperate to win. However, with his team almost in shambles, Michael calls for a timeout to regroup and he devises a plan and puts Stan in a crucial position. But as soon as Stan gets the ball, the aliens go apes, turning him to mush. With only 10 seconds left and one player down, the referee steps in to say if they don't find a fifth player, they'll lose the game. And just when things seem impossible, out of nowhere actor Bill Murray appears and he offers to lend a hand. After going over some tactics, they'll go straight to Daffy Duck and asks him to headbutt one of the aliens, and guess what? The alien drops the ball. Murray grabs it, passes it to Michael, who jumps high off an alien's back, and despite being held back by two opponents, Michael stretches his arm and slam dunks the ball right at the buzzer. The crowd goes bananas, the score flips a 77-78 and the Toon Squad snatches the victory in the very last second. Furious at his defeat, the evil park owner starts throwing insults at his employees, but they have got the upper hand now. They scoop him up and stuff him inside an Acme rocket, blasting him off to Moron Mountain. With the game over, the aliens keep their end of the bargain. They return the players' skills back into basketball, as they revert magically to their original shape and size. After the dust had settled, Michael bids farewell and returns to the human world back on Earth. He visits the athletes who lost their skills and asks them to touch the basketball, and like magic their talents were restored and they can finally get back to their careers. This brings the movie to a close. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to please subscribe to this channel for more animated recaps.